Macros versus meal plan versus calorie counting. Which one is best? Which one will you see success in? And what should you do to finally lose that weight? We're going to talk all about it, so let's get into it. Hi guys, welcome back. My name is Danielle. This is Daniela Diaries, and here we are inspire you, me, everyone, to be the very best version of ourselves. Now everybody's version will differ, but that's okay because we're all different and we're all unique. But as long as you're elevating yourself, really living life to your fullest potential, and just being a good person, that's what we're all about here. So if you are looking for like-minded people, you have found your space. This very small place on the internet. All are welcomed, all are respected, and I would hope you will stick around. So with that being said, let's talk all things meals, meal plans, macros, calories in, all the things. Let's do it. So as you guys know, I have been on a meal plan now for about a year. I love it. I'm not gonna lie, because it's easy, right? So what's the difference? Should you do meal plans? Should you do macros? Should you do calories in, calories out? I'm gonna be honest with you. It's personal preference. Slightly. Calories in, calories out might just be easy enough for those who are just getting their feet wet on a weight loss journey, right? So for example, if you were just starting out and you're like, hey, you know what, I've never really had to watch what I was eating before, but I'm getting older and I really want to just shed a few pounds. And it's kind of overwhelming because let's face it, it is overwhelming. I would say, hey, you know what, just watch your calories. Watch what you're eating. Watch your portions. You know, and if you want to go a step further, then I would say, hey, why don't you go ahead and track what you're eating in like an app? Right now, I know people are going to say this, and I get it. That is triggering for them. It's triggering for me to measure my food. It's triggering for me to, you know, enter things, you know, stuff like that. If at any point of your life that you find food to be a trigger for you, nothing is going to work until you heal that relationship with food, okay? Food, it's not the counting of the calories, it's not the measuring of the food, it's not this, it's not that, it's food that is a trigger for you, and it is a relationship that you have with it. So if you have not yet did that shadow work to work on it, you're never going to be wholeheartedly successful, and you're always going to be on this up and down hamster wheel of weight loss. I could say that with my whole chest because that was me. I am her, that was me, we were one. And it took some time, but I got there, and it's never going to be gone, okay? That relationship, this disordered eating, it's never going to be fully healed. There's always going to be a little nagging in the background, but you're going to learn how to identify them, how to react, and how to move forward with certain reactions, right? And that is the name of the game. So I went through therapy, and I've learned and I grew, and I learned how to not only react to situations when it comes to food, but also in my overall life, because I used food also as an emotional crutch. If I was having a good day, I ate. If I was having a bad day, I ate. If I was upset, I ate. So in order to learn how to deal with the big emotions and not rely on anything, you know, some people use food, some people use drugs, some people use alcohol, some people use relationships. You know, it's a coping mechanism, whatever it is. I had to do that shadow work. And if you find yourself in that situation, I encourage you to do so. Do the shadow work, seek out therapy. Now I know I talk about therapy all the time. You guys are probably sick of it, and I say this every time, but I don't care. It works. And I want to save everybody, and I want everybody to be happy and healthy and be okay. And it's okay not to be okay, but I want you to know that if you're not okay today, there's always somebody there who could help you be better. So I went through the Cerebral app. I did everything virtual because that's life now, I guess. And I love it. I do everything virtual, but if you want to do something in person, you can do that too. After you kind of stepped into this weight loss thing, and I'm like, hey, just starting out, hey, just watch your portions. You know, make sure, you know, you're weighing out your portions, because, you know, it's the littlest things too. Like, for example, you love Hidden Valley Ranch. Who doesn't? It's delicious. And you're like, oh, okay, you look at the thing and you're like, 2 tablespoons is 90 calories. And you're like, I'm gonna have 2.5 tablespoons. That sounds about right. And you just kind of, and you know that stuff never just comes out easy. It's like clonk, a big dollop here, and then you gotta like smooth it. I hate when that happens. Anyways, but you wouldn't even realize that you may be having 6 or 7 tablespoons, because it's just hard to determine, you know? So that's why I always say, you know, condiments, measure those. Those get away from you. Your fats are the ones that always get away from you. Dressings, butter, avocado, peanut butter, as good as they all are, and they are good fats, they will get away from you very quickly. So once you try to kind of get there and you're like, all right, I'm feeling like I got a nice handle on it, but it's still not seeing the results, what's next? Then I would say, you know what, why don't you upload MyFitnessPal? And they'll ask you to put in your height, your weight, what you want to do, and you want to be in a deficit. Okay, so you just start tracking your calories that way. Now here's the thing. You don't want to just track today and then not track tomorrow and then track Wednesday and not track Thursday. And then you're like, oh dang, it's Friday. I'm going to take Friday, Saturday, probably Sunday off, and then Monday I'll be back on it again. It's never going to work. The name of the game is consistently. And if you're consistently not showing up, you're going to consistently not get results, period. I said what I said. You can blame whoever it is, but the one finger you're pointing at somebody else, you got, what is it, 3 more pointing back at you. Or 4 if you do the thumb. How do you do it? Like this. Yeah, you know. So you're the only one that's going to be able to save yourself. That's it. And this is regardless if you were using any type of medications to help you with the weight loss or whatever the case may be, weight loss surgeries. They can only work for so long. You have to do the shadow work. You have to do the back work. You have to make sure that you are doing what you need to do and learning how to eat, what to eat, how much to eat, and getting through that. Now, it's not easy, and some days you might be a little bit hungry, but eventually your body will catch up, okay? And your stomach will shrink and your appetite won't be as gnarly as it is. You know, but you're going to have to, you might be a little hungry. I hate to say it. Yeah, I know people be like, if I'm hungry, I'm not doing this right now, honey girl. You're going to be hungry, okay? But sometimes hunger is disguised as thirsty. You drinking enough water, and sometimes you just might be a little hungry. Okay, there's a difference between being a little like, I could eat, than like, you're like, oh my God, I'm so starving, I could throw up. You know, learn how to identify both, okay? And if you are that point to where you're that hungry, then you have a meal. But also, like, you know, we're adults. We're also going to have to understand that, like, you know, sometimes you're going to have to fight through it, okay? So we're going through calories in, calories out, and you're like, you know what, now I want to really start focusing on weight training. I'm getting really into working out now, and that's where we come in with macros and meal plans, because now we're using food groups for a reason, and that's where the magic happens. I love using food groups for a reason, because I'm gonna tell you something. I love me some carbohydrates. Like, I love them. They're so yummy. I don't know if it's because I deprived myself of them for so long, but woo, me and them, we go together like you would not believe, okay? And I have seen the most success on this journey on my body with utilizing carbohydrates for an intentional purpose. So then you start getting into macros, right? Macros are your fats, your carbs, and your proteins. And you're gonna wanna utilize those macros at the right time. So if you're gonna go work out, you're gonna make sure you're gonna have some protein, you're gonna need some carbohydrates, and you're gonna get going. You can get a little fat in there, but your main ones are carbs and protein. You're gonna need a little fat, carbs and protein. They're gonna knock it out, especially them carbs are gonna give you that energy to really kick butt in the gym. And then you're gonna come home from the gym and you're gonna wanna have some protein, some carbs, and a little bit of fat just to help feed the muscles, keep you going. And that's how that goes, right? Nonetheless, if you are following a meal plan or macros, it's the same thing. It's just a meal plan has everything set out for you. The reason why I prefer to follow a meal plan is because I absolutely loathe macro Tetris. And if you've ever followed macros before, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Macro Tetris is the things of nightmares for me. I like knowing that I don't mind eating the same thing every day. I know a lot of people aren't like that. I don't mind it. I like eating the same thing every day. I like prepping out stuff. I like knowing that I have my food ready. I could eat this. I don't have to worry about getting onto an app, calculating, oh my God, I have 8 fat left, but I only have 2 protein. What am I gonna do? you know, I hated that. I hated doing that. It was so stressful, and no matter what, I was always above or under. Nothing was ever measured out perfectly. There are some people who are really good with measuring out their macros. I'm just not one of them. I could do it, but I just find it to be a little annoying. So I prefer to follow a meal plan. I think before you do macros, you should follow a meal plan. How would you start a meal plan? So this is what I would do. I'm currently building out meal plans for a couple people that I am trying to work with. I'm slowly learning. They're people in my real life, like they're my friends and my family. So what I do is I go on bodybuilding.com and they have a macro calculator in there. Okay, so it's gonna look like that, macro calculator. And we're gonna make it up, okay? We're gonna say we're Leo. So Leo's 44 years old, he's a male, he's 5'7". You guys didn't know Leo was that short, did you? He sure is. And his pounds, I think he's 210 right now. And you have a thing where you can do maintain your weight, lose weight, or gain weight. There are people who want to gain weight. It's called bulking season. I've never been there, but I heard it's fun. So we're going to just say he wants to lose weight. And then you're going to go down to your activity level. Now, when your activity level is you're going to add that. There's no like, do I subtract, I get this question a lot. Do I subtract the calories I burn from my workout, or do I eat those calories or whatever? You know how like say you burn 500 calories at the gym. Should I eat those calories? No, because when you're figuring out your macros, they're taking in consideration that you are going to work out. So activity level, sedentary, lightly active. That means you exercise or work out, sports 3 to 5 days a week, moderately active. Leo, I would say Leo's lightly active because he doesn't really work out at home, but he's pretty busy at work. So, and then you can go moderately, very active, or extra active. So it's like if you work out plus you have a physical job. So let's calculate that. And it's free. This is a free calculator. He says with the goal, this one does a 40-40 split. So 40 carbs, 40 protein, 20 fat. So for Leo, he'll get 1,982 calories, 173 grams of fat protein per day, 198 grams of carbs, and 55 grams of of fat. And that will be his whole breakdown. So then once you have that, you will go into MyFitnessPal. You have the app MyFitnessPal, right? And you go to more and you go to my profile. I actually have, I don't follow MyFitnessPal. I use this to create macro or the stuff for my friend. So you go to add nutritional goals. No. So then you go to more, and then you're gonna go to goals, and then your nutritional goals, calories, carbs, proteins, fats, goals. And then you would just add them in there, right? Now, so for Leo, I would do higher protein, moderate carbohydrates, right? So I would do 40, so you're able to adjust it right here. Can you guys see? And you're able to adjust what percentage you would want your carbs. So for Leo, I would want him to be a little bit more carb dominant or protein dominant because he borderlines with his sugar. So I would do 45% protein, 30% carbs, and 25% fat for him. And that would break everything down. It'll save, and then you will go through and just start rocking and rolling on MyFitnessPal. So it's super easy to do it that way. I like the bodybuilder.com, and you can do it fit your macros. So, you know, do it that way. If you didn't want to scan and everything like that, you could even build yourself out your own meal plan and just kind of derive it from there and go through. So you say, all right, and just build out a meal plan, and you start taking away from, it'll start subtracting all the calories and everything from your daily guide. So for example, I'm going to show you what my girlfriend's, the one I built for her. Okay. This is her meal plan. So she's doing, let's see here. So I want her name. So she's doing on training days. These are what her meals. So her calories, I believe, are 1840. And then she's doing 45% carbs, and on her carbs are higher for her than protein. on training days. So, and then that's what her meal plan looks like. And then I have a lower carb day for when she's not training. And that's what her stuff looks like. Okay. I also say, you get a treat meal on weigh-in days, a meal with a dessert to replace one of your meals. So you still want to eat all your others. She gets 5 meals a day. I highly suggest doing, if you're going to go the route of meal plans, I suggest doing 5 to 6 meals a day every 3 to 4 hours. You want to space them out and you want to eat accordingly. So you want to make sure that you're never going to the gym on an empty stomach. You want to make sure that you have something in your stomach. You want to make sure that you're also going to sleep with some carbs and some protein in your gut to keep the metabolism running throughout the night. You get sugar-free jam, sauces, and fat-free dressings are good. I basically eliminated all dairy for her. You want to do at least a gallon of water a day, and then all veggies are good with the exception of broccoli and cauliflower. We don't eat those. And I tell her, get creative. I love lemon juice, a little bit of parm on my pasta, or G. Hughes sauces, except for their Yum Yum sauce, clucking sauce, or their burger sauce. So I know G. Hughes is getting really creative with a lot of their sauces, which is phenomenal, but not all of the sauces are created equally. So if you want to get the sweet chili sauce, which is so hard to find right now, it's really bumming me out, but it's not the same as their Yum Yum sauce or their clucking sauce or their burger sauce, because those have like 130 calories per 2 tablespoons, whereas the sweet chili sauce has 10. So be mindful of that stuff, you know, like even though it's sugar-free, it's not calorie-free, and you can really, you know, pack it on. Same thing with coffee creamers. I know a lot of people will go for 0 sugar coffee creamers. I would rather you have a little bit more sugar than skip out on the dairy. Dairy causes an inflammatory response with mostly everybody, and because we don't essentially need that much dairy. Dairy was never made to be consumed in mass quantities as it is now. So if you ever see, just give yourself that time to really focus. I also like meal plans because you keep it simple, and you'll really keep your recipe simple, you'll keep your ingredients simple, your veggies will be simple, and you will be really surprised at how many things you will learn cause inflammation. You could also do a food sensitivity test. I've done one of those, but you know, the more simple it is, the more successful I find it to be. Even when going out, going to family members' house, I bring my own food sometimes. It doesn't bother me. Most people will understand, you know, it's not like at every party I'll bring food with me, but if I have to, I have to. Like when I was on my cut, I brought food with me. No one said anything. I still went. I enjoyed the time. And it was fine. But, you know, when people say anything, just say, hey, you know, I got goals, man. Like it's, for example, if I was a diabetic and, you know, I brought my own food, or if I was, you know, gluten sensitive or something like that, and I brought my own stuff, people wouldn't say anything to me. You know, treat me the same way. It's just not, I mean, not the same way, you know, but it's the same thing. You think people care more than, it's more of an issue with you than it is with other people. Like people don't care. I bring food every time. I don't give a damn. Another thing is, and I really want you guys to focus on, is protein. Now, a lot of people will say protein focused. There's a difference. I think we get it confused when it says protein focused and protein dominant. You have to watch your proteins. You have to watch how much you're eating, because it's still calories. I feel like we have this idea where, like, I see my mom doing it and she's like, oh, it's fine. I just had like 3 burger patties and some bacon because I'm fine, because it's just protein. And I'm like, that's a lot. Like you don't need that much protein. Like unless you're like a 300-pound bodybuilder, like you don't need that. You know, the average person probably only needs, you know, I think it's 1 pound of 1 gram of protein per body weight. So if you're 170 pounds, you should not exceed 170 grams of protein. So be considerate of that, you know, whereas your carbs will be not significant, but slightly higher, unless you're carb cycling, and on lower carb days you'll have lower carbs, or if you're a low carb person. But there's no one who needs 300-400 grams of carbs, the average person who's not a professional bodybuilder. So there's a lot of little things that I have learned throughout this process that I feel like we're like, what? Wait, what do you mean? Like I don't need, like, I am going to say this, I announced it in another video, I am going to offer a meal plan along with a at-home training guide to 2 to 3 people beginning May. I'm just going to tell you the date before I go any further. May is going to be really busy. So it's actually going to start on May 1st because May 1st is a Monday. So let's do that. I will need to have everybody's information if you're interested by the 24th of April, because it's going to take me a few days to get everything together. But I will offer it to 2 to 3 people. And I'm going to offer you a meal plan. You're going to have to do weekly check-ins with me. I'm going to have to see your body's progress. I want to know what the scale says. You're going to have to, I'm going to offer you a meal plan. I need you to eat the meal plan. If you're going to fall off or cheat or whatever the case may be, like if this is not something you want to be serious with, please do not inquire. Like I want serious inquiries only. This is going to be completely free. I'm doing this all for free. I just want to see, I've been working with people and I'm seeing some really great results, so I know I can apply it, but I want to make sure that I can apply it to others. And you guys have been so supportive of me that I would really like to try to help some of you guys. So I'll offer you a free at-home training program. All you're going to need is some light weights and some resistance bands, and meal plan. So if you're interested, let me know. Email me and put it in for May coaching on the subject line. And I'm going to do for 2 to 3 people. And if if it's still going really well, and then I might try it again in June, and then we'll see from there. But again, June will be for free as well. So I just want to get back to you guys and really try to help people who are struggling. And I'm seeing really good results. Like my girlfriend's doing it. In her first week, she's lost a couple pounds, but it was more, I've noticed more of the bloating. Her sleep's better. She's not hungry. She's eating, and she's eating more. She's eating significantly more. So it can be done. Trust the process. So which one do I think works? They all work if you work them. I think that if you are just starting out, I think just watching your portions would be good. I think calorie counting would be a little bit better. And then if you start really getting into fitness, weight training, stuff like that, I think macros would be great. But if you're just starting off, before macros, I suggest a meal plan so you could really see how everything goes. And then once you are a pro, I suggest macros at the end. If you guys are interested in a 6-week shred, I know my friend Nicole is starting one. I believe it's sometime in April. I think it's coming up. And there's like prize money and stuff like that. So if you don't follow Nicole Burgess, she's offering a 6-week shred. You can win money. She'll give you customized macros, all the things. So check her out, join her shred. It'll be really fun. There's a lot of people who are really excited for that. And I know In With Jen is also doing one. If you wanted to do like a 6-week program, that would be really fun. And you can kind of get your feet wet with the macros and see how that goes. And then once she gives you your macros, you could even take those macros and make yourself your own meal plan so you can just meal prep and be consistent. Consistency is key, my guys. Whatever it is you choose, you got to be consistent. If you're not consistent, you're going to consistently fail. Damn, I should put that on a shirt. See you on the next one. Bye.
So you need a little break, huh? Boy, say you need a little space, yeah. Boy, is it 'cause you can't be faithful? Boy, hope she's cool. I'm like